Good morning from Hong Kong. I'm going to do a little video today, look at the Amsterdam Marathon, a little review, post-race review. I know it's been quite a while since that, but after Manchester I did a sort of a race review and the event and things. So I'm going to do one for Amsterdam, and I thought I'd leave it a little while and do one whilst I was out on holiday, just to give it a little bit of a fresh scene. So yeah, I'm in Hong Kong for a few days. I did go to Thailand first, but I've come to Hong Kong just for a few days. And I am on a easy run now. So I'm just doing this sort of riverside. And then I'm going to go to a temple. It's called 10,000 Buddha Temple, but it's been called that for decades. And they just keep adding more. So it's called 10,000, but there is a lot more than that now. So I've not been back to Hong Kong for 10 years. So the last time I went there was 10 years ago. So let's see what it's like. So I'm going to do this run, walk, jog review of Amsterdam and what's next as well. What am I doing next? What races have I got? That sign says, do not approach any wild pigs. Do not drive wild pigs away with any object. Yeah, I'm just going to leg it if I see one. I found it, right, and from what I remember it's a very steep walk up, steps. Oh yeah, I remember this, a lot of steps, but as you can see there is Buddhas everywhere. So yeah, I'm just going to tackle all these steps. I think I've been bit by something itchy. So yeah, I've got my notes here, so let's go through what happened in Amsterdam while I think I've been bit by something. If you've watched the Amsterdam video, you probably know that I failed with the sub 3, took it down to the wire-ish again, and I basically got to 39k where I thought I was going to do it, and then suddenly it became, you know, a monstrous task, because that's what happens in a marathon. You never know what can happen. But leading to that point, I did really well. I got to the halfway mark where I knew I was going to assess whether it was worth going for it, and it was. I felt all right, felt fine, felt okay. Got to the 30k mark, again, felt okay. But I always knew, like I said on the video, that 35k mark, I'm getting itchy. I've been bit by something. Some mozzie or something. It's going red already. Yeah, I got to 30k mark, start to think, feel good. But what happens at 35 in the last marathons is where I've started to feel pretty bad. That sort of sense of doom, that sense that you can't maintain pace, just that sense of that you know you're gonna fail, and just the sense of that I can't do it, and it just becomes a war. But this time felt, obviously it was hard, it's the end of a marathon, but honestly in my head, 35k, 36, 37, even 38, I honestly felt like this was going to be the day. I felt like this is going to be the day I'm sub 3. Maybe I got a little bit too confident and forgot about how brutal the marathon is. Oh god, this is a workout. So yeah, I got to that point where I was really confident. I thought I was going to do it, and then that just came at 39 where I just started to feel, you know, a few seconds of cramp coming, and then it made me fall over because it was so sudden, and I was just paralysed on the floor for ages. It just started to, the muscles spasmed and gave me a lot of pain. So I just sat there and, you know, I thought it was over. I thought my running part of the race was over. So yeah, when I was down, I thought that was it. I just thought it's over. And then a guy from the crowd leant over and started talking to me, trying to coach me what to do. sort of scuttled over, you saw in the video, and he started treating me for a while and just started to talk to me and start getting me going. Started to fire me up again, like mentally, physically. So I was like, go on then, I'll try. And then, yeah, I managed to get up. He was running alongside me, well, walking alongside me until I got running, talking to me and coaching me how to get my turnover going. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit negative. Yeah, and I got going again. I got the speed going, and I thought, you know, let's just jog it to the end, you know. And then I looked at my watch and I realised I still could do it. I still could do it. I just have to put, you know, the turbo boosters on at some point, because I couldn't do it then. I was getting cramps again, which I did stop a couple of times, and I was just worried about falling over. And then I managed to get going, get a bit of pace back, and like I said on the video, I finished very fast in the end. And I do have to admit, really, that, you know, a lot of people commented saying well done for going and getting up and all this stuff, but it was down to that man, because honestly, if I'm 100% honest, I'd given up when I'd fell down, and I was sort of stuck and paralysed. In my head, I was going to just sit there, wait till the cramp went, and, you know, walk, and if at best, slow jog back to the finish line. You know, it was down to him that I put on the turbo boosters and tried to get the sub 3. Otherwise, without him, I would have finished way past 3. I'm not allowed to film inside that main bit, but I can film around here. There is loads of little tiny Buddhas in that building. After the marathon, I just felt really sore, really bad. The worst I felt after any marathon. I was struggling to walk, really sore muscles. My legs just killed. I was struggling really for the good next few days, really. So it obviously took it out of me, the cramp. I thought my hydration was all right. I took my own water, I took electrolytes in the drink, I took water from the stations. You know, I thought I was doing all right in the days leading up to it. Some people have recommended salt sticks, like salt chew tab things, which I'm going to look into. Quite a few people have recommended that, so I might try that next time. But yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. Fitness-wise, I felt quite good. Fitness-wise, like aerobically, I was like, I've got this. I've absolutely got this. To make it past that mark, normally where I start to feel doom, to make it and feel confident that I was going to be sub 3 that day, that's sort of a good indication of my fitness. But yeah, if there's anything that you can recommend that you've managed to crack your cramp issues, let me know in the comments. I will try the salt sticks and see how that goes next time in training and things. But apart from that, maybe some more strength and conditioning. I did skip a lot this time, just with time, and obviously not as being as strict with the routine, lack of sleep and all that sort of malarkey. So maybe it was that, maybe not, who knows. The event itself, well, obviously you saw in the video, it was a little bit cramped at the start, so I'm not sure whether I can give it a fair review. But yeah, I didn't really like the start of the marathon in the stadium. I do prefer ones where it's in the city and you can sort of roam about and then join your pen sort of thing. Amsterdam had 2 starting zones actually. It had one inside the stadium and one outside the stadium. So they joined eventually. I didn't actually remember seeing them join. I don't know if it's always been like that. It's just too busy, I think, for where it starts. So I didn't really get a good warm-up. But it's hard to do a fair review because it was raining. So I'm thinking everybody was crammed inside and they didn't want to really roam around outside the stadium and do warm-ups and things. So it's hard to, you know, give it a fair review. But Generally, I didn't like it inside the stadium to start. The course itself is fast, you know, some nice sights. The city of Amsterdam is really nice. You've got the Amstel riverside and things like that, which is nice to see and things. The course itself is quite narrow at parts. The crowd wasn't very good either at the start. You know, I remember running and starting and just thinking it's really quiet, there's not really any buzz. And even when you got outside the stadium, there was crowds lining up, but I don't know, they weren't very vocal. It just seemed like there wasn't a big buzz at the start. So I think again the weather's just put a dampening on everything. The atmosphere, people turning up for it. So, you know, I have to be really appreciative of people actually coming out in that weather, to be honest. So again, not really a fair review, but I'm just telling you how it was and how I felt at the time. But overall, it's a good course. It's a really fast course. It all depends on the weather. You know, it's still a fast course regardless of weather. But, you know, if you get a windy, rainy day like we did, some parts, especially on the river, you know, on the Amstel, it was pretty tough going at one point because it does last a while. But overall, fast course, flat course, and quite a nice city to run through. So yeah, I would recommend it. I think I've just figured out what might have bit me. There's like absolute gigantic red ants here. They are massive and they look red and angry. What is next? Well, a lot of people ask me this, what's next? Some people have got the idea that I was going to quit going for sub 3. And that's not what I was meaning when on the video when I said, you know, whether I want to do it again. What I mean is, do I want to do it again for my next marathon, as in the next immediate one, you know, which I was wondering whether not to. That's what I meant. I didn't mean I was going to quit going for sub 3. I'm never going to quit going for sub 3. I'm always going to try and get that goal, and I'll keep going and going and going. But what I meant, was it going to be the exactly the next one, or should I leave it later for the autumn marathon? So I am going to carry on the sub 3, and I am looking for a spring marathon. I've not decided. You know, it's either Manchester, Paris, I've looked at Boston, Lincolnshire, Newport, which I don't know too much about, but I'm going to start looking at vlogs and things like that to see what that's like. So there's a few options there. So yeah, if anyone has run Newport, let me know what that's like. I will check some race vlogs out and things, but if there's anyone that's run Newport, could you compare it to Manchester if you've run that as well, and let me know what you've thought. Oh, thanks a lot for the comments on the Amsterdam video. Tons of comments, getting me back fired up again, and yeah, really nice to see whether people just like to see me fail or they can relate to my story, who knows. You know, I've had Facebook messages, Instagram messages, all sorts of stuff. Thanks for the support, and yeah, I will be back to take on another attempt at the sub 3. It will be the 5th attempt, so 5th time lucky, I guess. Forgot to mention, I've signed up for a half marathon in Thailand on the 19th this month. It's in Ma Phay Lung. I think I pronounced that correctly. If I'm not, sorry. But yeah, it's in Chiang Rai, North Thailand, hometown of my wife. And it starts at the University of Ma Phay Lung, which is where Sai used to work before she came to England. So yeah, it's hilly, the climate's hot. So yeah, that'll be fun to try and do. But yeah, I'm going to do that. And you know, I'll run as well as I can for the climate and the terrain and all that sort of stuff, and conditions. And obviously I'm a little heavier now, I'm on holiday and not really training properly, so it'll be quite tough anyway, but I'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, I guess. I'll see you in Thailand. I'll do some vlogging in Thailand.